Welcome to Robotagentz. In this video, we'll walk you through the Robotagentz interface. We start at the login screen. Enter your email and password and press the login button. The first thing you will see is the agent control screen. This screen shows the currently active agents running missions. There are several buttons on this screen. We will go through each of them. The first button is the agent history. Press on this button. A dialog will show up on the right of the screen. This dialog will be the recent missions that have been run or still running. There are 3 buttons on the dialog. The Show Active button will filter just the active agents running missions. The Show All button will show all missions. Keep in mind that mission logs are only kept for 7 days. To close the dialog, press on the Close button. The list below the buttons show tiles for each mission. If you press on the Mission button, it will take you to the mission editor and load the mission for editing. The Relaunch button will do a quick launch of the mission if you want to launch it again. Each mission tile also has a View Log button. If you press on this button, another dialog will appear. In this dialog, you will see the mission log. The mission log shows all the information logged during the mission. You're also given the options of deleting the log, downloading the log to your computer as a text file, or refreshing the log to see if any new entries have been made. Pressing the Close button will close the dialog and will take us back to the agent mission history. Pressing the Close button here will close the history dialog. The next button on the agent control is the Launch Agent button. If we press this button, we will see a new dialog appear. In the dialog, you will see a list of missions that you have created and a text entry named Provide an Agent Name. This is an optional entry to add a name to the agent that will run the mission. If no name is entered, the mission will run by an agent named Anon. If you click on a mission, the dialog will indicate a mission is selected. You can then either close the dialog to cancel, or you can click on the Launch Agent button to launch an agent with the selected mission. Let's select a mission and press the Launch Agent button. When the agent is launched, it will first show a tile that indicates that the agent is being set up on an agency. During this time, the Robotagentz interface is deploying your mission to one of the agency servers. Once the mission has been deployed, you will see a normal agent mission tile. The agent tile shows the information about the agent and the mission that it is executing. At the top, there is an elapsed time that is periodically updated. The tile also has the mission shown, which you can click on to load it into the mission editor. At the bottom of the tile is a View Log button that, when clicked, will take you to the Mission Log Viewer dialog that we previously discussed. There is also a Kill Agent button that, when pressed, will send a kill signal to the agent to stop running the mission. The next button on the agent control screen is the Mission Editor button. You can also see this button in the Main Menu button. But since you are generally moving between the agent control screen and the Mission Editor screen, the navigation button is placed at the top right. If we press on this button, it will take us to the Mission Editor. The Mission Editor screen is where you create your mission plans. If you have already loaded a mission to work on, it will be kept in memory while you navigate through the application. If you have just logged in and haven't made a new mission or haven't loaded an existing mission, you will see an empty workspace. In that case, you can just create a new mission by clicking on the New button, or you can load a mission by using the Open button. Once a mission is loaded, you will see the mission name, and next to it is a black button named Quick Launch. This button, when clicked, will launch the currently loaded mission. The reason that it is called a quick launch is merely because you do not give a name to the agent. Other than that, it is a normal agent mission launch. See our other video on creating your first robot agents. Mission to see how the workspace works for creating mission plans. Even though the mission is kept in memory, it doesn't mean that it has been saved to the server. To save it to the server, use the Save or Save as buttons. If you want to create a directory structure to save your missions in, or if you need to move, rename, or delete missions, you can use the Manager. To use the Manager, press on the Manage button. When you click on the Manage button, a new dialog will appear. In this dialog, you will see your missions. It will indicate the location at the top of the mission list. The base folder is called Root. You can add a new folder by pressing on the Add folder in the top right. You will be asked for the name of the new folder. After creating the new folder, it will show up in the mission window. If you want to move a mission into the new folder, just click on the mission. The mission will show up on the right of the screen as selected. You can click on other missions to be included in the selection. The actions available are renaming, moving, duplicating, or deleting. To deselect the missions, you can press Cancel or click on the mission in the Selected section. You can also select folders by clicking on the small bubble labeled S next to the folder. Keep in mind, if you delete a folder, it will delete all the contents of the folder. Let's press on the Close button to go back to the main Mission Editor screen. The Mission Editor also has the Agent History button that works exactly the same as the Agent History button on the Agent Control screen that we covered earlier. We will do a quick look at the Task Block dialog. In order to see this button, we need to first press the New button. Now the Add Task Block button will appear. Let's press on that button to bring up the Task Block dialog. The Task Block dialog features a search bar and a collection of group buttons. The task blocks are organized in groups. Some task block can be found in multiple groups. You can also directly scroll through the list of blocks. Once you find the block you want, just click on it and it will add it to the workspace. Once the block is on the workspace, you can configure it. Almost all blocks offer some parameters to configure: a delete block, a copy block, settings, and a documentation link. Let's take a closer look at each of these items. First, if you want to delete the block, you can just click on the X in the top right corner of the block and it will delete it. Be careful on this because there is no "Are you sure?" warning. Second, all parameters for a block will be listed and will have a small button with 3 dots. When you see the 3 dots, it means that the parameter is not set to any value. Some blocks have parameters that are optional and don't require a value. When you press on the 3 dots button, it will load a parameters dialog custom for the specific parameter that you want to set to a value in. Parameters come in types like plain text, numbers, JSON, etc. Just choose the type that you want and fill in the entry. Let's try this out. Go to the Add Task block and add a delay block. Once the block is in the workspace, click on the button with the 3 dots. The dialog will appear and will give you the option of either using a number or a variable. Let's put in a number of 10. When you have entered the number, press the Submit button. Now you will see the 10 in the spot where the 3 dots, signifying that the parameter has been set. Plain text, numbers, and JSON will have an orange color to them, so it is easy to see how the parameter is set. Variables are the color blue. If you want to change the value, merely click on it, change the value, and then press the Submit button. If you want to clear the value from the parameter, click on the parameter and in the dialog press the red Clear button. This will set the parameter back to the 3 dots. The next part of the task block walkthrough are the 3 buttons at the bottom: the Copy, Settings, and Docs. The Copy will just make an exact duplicate with parameters of the task block. The Settings button will show a dialog with 3 settings. Almost all blocks have these basic settings. The first setting is a block note. This is optional and adds a note to the block that writes the note to the mission log when the block is executed. The second setting is the transition out time. This is also an optional setting and just adds a delay after the block executes and before the block triggers its outputs. The delay is set in milliseconds. For example, a delay of 1.5 seconds would use a value of 1,500. The third setting is the block logging switch. This is another optional setting that, when enabled, the internal troubleshooting logging will be turned on. This setting is only recommended if you are troubleshooting because it can generate a lot of logging to your mission log. Not all blocks have detailed internal logging, so this is not consistent over all the types of task blocks. That is it for settings. Let's click the Cancel button to get back to the Mission Editor screen. The third button is the Docs button. Every task block has a page of documentation for itself. Just press on the Docs button to get detailed documentation and at least one example. Some things to keep in mind when creating missions. 1. There is only one single path through the mission. Missions cannot split into multiple paths. For example, You cannot connect the done output of one block to multiple other blocks. Don't worry, if you attempt to connect something incorrectly, the mission editor won't allow it and will alert you. Also, Robotagentz has other methods for doing parallel paths, like using launch agent task block that we will cover in another video. 2. If you want to delete a connection, just click on the connection line and it will be highlighted. You will see a Delete Connection button in the top right corner of the workspace. Just click on that and the connection will be deleted. 3. There are two main types of missions. The first type is a mission that starts, does some task blocks, and then exits. The second type of mission is one that never connects to the exit block. This type of mission will run forever, unless killed. Both types of missions are acceptable and work great in Robotagentz. Next, we will look at RoboDoc Editor. RoboDocs are documents that have formatted sections within them that are place markers for a parser to read and replace the markers with new text or data. The documents can be plain text, HTML, CSV, etc. Please see out video Creating Your First Robotagentz RoboDoc. To get to the RoboDoc editor, press on the menu symbol in the top left corner next to the Robotagentz logo. It looks like 3 bars stacked on top of each other. When this is clicked, you will see a menu for navigating to all the screens in Robotagentz. Press on the button labeled RoboDocs Editor. The RoboDoc Editor looks like all the other screens with the Open, New, and Manage buttons. The RoboDoc Editor also has a special button called AI Assist. The AI Assist can provide creative help with documents like HTML. Let's explore this. Press on the AI Assist button. You will see the AI Assist dialog. Type in a description of what you want and press Send. For example, let's ask for a nice-looking HTML report for production of widgets from Machine A versus Machine B. The AI Assist will think about the problem and will return a Preview Result button. Click on the Preview Result button to see what it created. If the report looks like what you want, press the button labeled Create a RoboDoc from this. The AI Assist will then put the HTML markup code into the workspace. You can then replace the data values in the markup with the template markers. For example, we can replace the first data value with var1, which means that when a RoboDoc is rendered during a mission, it will use its variable var1 in the place of that marker. Next, we will look at the contract editor. Go back to the menu icon in the top left of the screen and press on it. Press on Contract Editor. Press on the New button. The contract editor is used for creating connection contracts to external services like APIs, databases, SMTP servers, etc. At this time, Robotagentz only supports contracts for APIs, MySQL databases, and SMTP servers. In the future, we plan to expand this to other services. If we choose the API button, you will see a form for configuring the connection contract. There are a lot of things that can be configured, but most APIs only require a small amount of items to be configured, such as the endpoint, body, and authorization type. Once configured, you can do a simple test of your configuration by pressing the Test button. Here's a simple example. We will use the fake JSON API online to test an API contract. When we press Test, we see a new dialog window appear. It will show the result of API call. Press the Close button to close the dialog. The contract editor can also be used to create connection contracts with MySQL databases and SMTP servers. Please watch our video, Creating Connection Contracts with MySQL and SMTP Servers. The next screen we will look at is the Storage Editor. Go to the main menu and select the Storage Editor. The Storage Editor looks like the other screens with the Open, New, and Manage button. The Storage Editor is used for creating, viewing, and editing storage items. To get a more detailed explanation of storage items, please take a look at the documentation for Robotagentz. The documentation can be found in the main menu as the Documentation button. Let's create a new storage item. Press on the New button. You will see a text type editor appear. You can type in whatever type of data you want into this, like numbers, plain text, or structured data, like YAML or JSON. If you want to make a JSON, you can click JSON on the type, right, to get a JSON editor. The JSON editor will tell you if you have valid JSON. Let's create a simple JSON array. Click on the JSON button. Now we will enter a simple JSON array. Press the Save button and give it a name. Press the Save button to save the storage item. Once we save the storage item, a new button appeared called Access. Storage items are the only items that can be accessed internally and externally. This is an important feature of Robotagentz. Let's create an external access to this storage item. Click on the Access button. A new dialog window will appear with a button in the top right corner named Add New Key. Press on this button. You will be asked to configure your access key by first entering the expiration duration and then second the permissions. To keep your data safe, the storage items are required to have some type of expiration. Pick from 1 day up to 120 days. The permissions are what the external access is allowing someone to do with the storage item. Read permission means that the external entity can only read the storage. The permissions allow read, write, or both as options. Once you have configured the access, press the Submit button. A new tile will appear with information about the access key that you just created. You can copy the key ID by pressing on the Copy button. You can use this key in other external programs to access the storage item. To get a quick example, you can press on the Read or Write buttons to get a curl command copied to your clipboard. If you have a computer that can run curl commands, you can paste it in and run it. If you want to edit the key, just delete it with the Delete This Key button and create a new one. Keep in mind that you are limited to how many access keys are allowed for the subscription level you have purchased. You can check on your limits in the next screen we will tour. Go to the main menu and click on the Account button. This screen provides all the information you need to manage your account. The first part shows the subscription level that you are at. Robotagentz has 10 levels of Tier 1 subscriptions. The next part is the Billing Information and Upgrades button. Robotagentz uses the secure payment system called Stripe. When you press on the button, you will first get authenticated, and then you will be asked if you want to load another browser tab with the Stripe Customer Portal. Press OK. Once the Customer Portal is opened, you will be able to upgrade your subscription, change your payment methods, and also see your recent payments. The next part on the account screen is the Usage versus Plan. This section will outline what limits you have and how close you are to reaching the limits. The next part is the Auto Logout. If you want to be auto-logged out, click on the On button. This will enable a 30-minute timer in Robotagentz, so that if there is no activity in minutes, the user will be logged out. Keep in mind that if you are working on something and it hasn't been saved, you could potentially lose that work. Also, the auto logout only occurs if the browser's opened with Robotagentz. If you close the browser, the Robotagentz interface will no longer track the auto logout time. The last section is just quick links to documents inside the official Robotagentz documentation. To close the accounts window, click on the Close This window at the bottom of the screen. Thanks for watching our video. Please like and subscribe to help us create more useful tutorials like this.